Hey there! If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. I'll say that again. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast. Oh, yep, with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started. Now it's time for the Big Bad Broadcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now to welcome you to Bitchin Baby Boomers.
Hey everybody, it's John Ferrentino, or Bitchin Baby Boomers, and welcome to Bitchin Baby Boomer Army we created. We have almost 1,600 people on our Facebook page. Last week's show got, the week before got 1,100 hits. We're almost that with last week's with the incredible Lane's Merge. And I need you to meet the Long Island Clown College. We got Mike Grief.
Hey, all I want to do is boom, boom, boom.
And we got Joe Silkie.
I knew you were going to say that.
the mind reader. And we got Craig Mitchell.
Oh, how are you?
And all the highbrow comedy we get. So anyway, yeah, listen, we had a great week, and you guys keeping that Facebook page rolling along, and it's just been a fun time. And I'd like to thank personally Lane's Merge for being so understanding about editing, because he said he thought it made a better show. And yeah, he's just an amazing talent. But I got to tell you guys something. I was reading the paper that the postal stamps are going up to 58 cents.
Who uses the postal service anymore anyway?
Yeah, really.
Stamps. Do you mail? I email. I don't mail anything.
I know. It's so crazy. I mean, it's like an overnight mail is like $28.
Wow.
What's an overnight female? Bum.
Don't ask me.
But anyway, what's crazy about this whole thing is, for some reason, Amazon skirts around. They still get the post office to, deliver their stuff for free, and they don't get taxed or charged. But they got people that are crazy working there. I ordered some Ouija boards for my seance act.
Ouija boards?
Yeah, Ouija boards. You should have known that, Joe.
You didn't know that, Joe.
You guys don't remember Ouija boards are like when you were a kid. You two people.
By the way, John, you're out of toilet paper.
Ouija boards work like this. Two people would put their fingers on the planchette. They would ask it a question. It would start to move, and this is what it happened. You pushed it. No, I didn't push it. And then they go, this sucks, and they flip over the game. But anyway, I ordered a Ouija board, and I think Craig has the picture of the way it arrived, and I swear this is true. I pulled up from my house. I thought there was a bicycle in the box, and there was no padding. There was no padding in it. The thing was just flying around in there. Somebody goes, heathen, I'll show him how he get this.
Or maybe they leave room for the spirits.
Yeah.
Either that or they have a competition every week to see who could put the smallest thing in the biggest box.
Right.
I'm not going there.
It was negative energy for all that negative space, for all that negative energy, I guess.
But, what's so crazy about that? If you think about it, it's like, what if that went actually U.S. mail, it would have got lost.
You look totally perplexed in that picture.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. I opened it up and went, this is what's in here. I kept thinking, what did I order? A gate? A bicycle? And that was in it. So anyway.
Oh, man.
But, but we got a little breaking story, I think. That just
From the BBBRadio.com headquarters, this is Arthur Seal with a breaking news update. You give a moment, we'll give you nonsense.
Okay, Eunice. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got all the facts now. All right. Okay. Thanks. See you later. Bye. So that was Eunice. She just called in. There's a big conspiracy going on about.
And the people that don't know, Eunice is Joe's imaginary friend.
No, she was right here on the phone. So anyway, the post office is buying foreign cars, luxury cars, and using them for mail trucks. They're buying Mercedes-Benz, and they're covering it up.
That's no wonder why packages never get anywhere if they're using Mercedes.
That's why stamps are going to 58%. I'm driving a 10-year-old Hyundai.
Yeah.
There's this van. It's actually a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van.
Oh my God! The last German van I trusted was Van Helsing.
They take the Mercedes-Benz logo, which is the big circle in the front, and they changed it to a post office. It's the only thing that's on there.
This is a cover-up. This is a cover-up.
They even covered the Mercedes-Benz hubcaps. They sprayed them black, so you can't see the logo.
I'm sorry, I don't trust German cars. I went for just to look at them one time, and the guy's just like, "Oh, they're just going for a test drive." No,
this is a real cover-up. This is like a Q-tip.
I wonder if they run on diesel.
I just hope they don't run on gas.
Yeah, that was the subtext of that joke. Yes.
Yeah,
I apologize in advance to everyone.
So, anyway, we are going to change the subject here, I believe.
Really?
We have a great show for you today. We really do. I'm so happy to have this guy on. I've known him for years. He's one of the funniest people that I know. You guys are really going to love him. He's got an incredible following, and we'll talk about that with him. And it gives me great pleasure to bring on a good friend, a good guy, and funny guy, Mr. Fred Klett.
Hey.
Welcome, Fred.
Hey, Fred, good to see you.
I'm humbled.
You're humbled? Well, better than being hobbled. So let me introduce everybody. That's Joe Silkie, the mind reader. That's what he does for a living. So he probably knows what you're going to talk about. That's Craig Mitchell, the producer. And that's Mike Grief, stand-up comedian, and if you need a bodyguard. So Fred, I know Fred's wife. I know his kids. Fred is married to a essential worker. She's a nurse.
Emergency room.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
The equality in our marriage went out the door with the labeling of essential and non-essential. I haven't won an argument in over a year. All she has to do is say, "I believe you're non-essential." No, I can't make a point. I've got no rights. I clean the house. It's been a tough year.
It's been a tough year.
Being married to an all-star essential worker. She won't let me forget it, John.
But you're happy you're married, right?
Well, I did ask Nancy if I was happy, and she told me I am. and that was good to know.
But being married kind of changed your life, though.
Well, you know what? Have you guys have you noticed that when you get married, you learn things you didn't know when you were single?
Like what?
Like what?
Well, I'll tell you what. Not only in my marriage, but you also see it around you. I was in a cafeteria, and I'm behind an elderly couple, and this guy started reaching for whole milk. He's reaching for whole milk. Let me emphasize this. He's reaching for whole milk.
Whole milk.
Within reach, his wife states, "You do not drink whole milk." He didn't stop. He didn't look at me. He didn't say anything to her. Just veered off, went straight to the skim milk. Now, I watched this, and I thought how lucky that guy was to have met that woman, because how many years did he drink the wrong milk? You learn.
You learn things.
What? And if I hadn't gotten married when I did, I probably would have been dead in a matter of months.
Why?
Because when I was single, I was wild. I lived on the edge. Mike, you can relate to this. I mean, I lived on the edge. I'll give you an example. When I was single, I used to wear my shoes in the house. I'm not making that up. I really did. I did not know carpets are supposed to live thousands of years. And here's something dangerous. Here's something else I learned, and I mean it. You learn new things when you get married. You learn things you never knew when you were single. When I got married, I learned that I breathe way too loud.
Yeah.
Not only did Nancy tell me I breathe too loud, she told me the exact distance from which people can hear me. A mile. You learn things when you get married you never knew when you were single. For instance, now that I'm married, I know when it's time to leave a party.
When's the time is?
Never used to know. When I was single, I would do really stupid things like stay until I quit having fun. Never realizing I should have left a long time ago simply because it was time. How come you're leaving the party, man? It's time, pal, and you should get married so you'd know too. No, you learn things when you get married that you never knew when you were single. For instance, now that I'm married, I realize that I never knew how to get dressed. You ever get dressed to go out with your wife? You come out of the bedroom and she just looks at you and says, "No." Mm-hmm. You go back. I will help you now. Now when we're going out and I get out of the shower, there's clothes laid out on the bed. All I got to do is get in them. It's just like the entire person. All it's missing are the head and the hands and the feet.
Oh. I tell my wife all the time, just pick my clothes out for me, because she's never approved of anything I wear.
No,
I love when
this one I hear a lot, and it makes me laugh because it's you do realize that you're learning more and more and more. But I'm walking down a hallway behind what had to be a husband and wife, and he said, "I'm hungry," and she said, "No, you're not." I mean,
did she have a Ouija board?
And she saved your life once too, right?
What do you mean?
Didn't you one day you had the door open, right? I remember her telling me how she saved your life. Next thing you knew, there was 1 million mosquitoes about to come in.
No. That's another thing is you don't realize is when the sharing of knowledge is going to pop up, because it could come with the simplest thing, and that is true. One day I just opened our back door, perhaps slightly too long. I don't know what the exact time parameter is. I only know I must have went over it because Nancy yells out, "Shut the door! You just let 800 mosquitoes into the house." I had no idea that mosquitoes fly in swarms of 800. I would think that many in a swarm, you'd see something come through the door. I saw nothing, but my wife, with her keen eyesight and wealth of knowledge, knew that 800 got into our house. God bless her. We could have been killed that night.
That's right.
Did she tell you
I felt like Johnny Carson on that setup.
Well, the statement of life threw me. You know what? Nancy got me. You talk about learning. I'm just like a basic. I just know the basics. She got me a shirt one time for the stage, and she said, "This will look good on the stage." And I just looked at it and I said, "Nancy, I don't want to wear a pink shirt." She said, "It's not pink, it's hibiscus." I know. I must have missed school the day they covered that color. I don't ever remember asking another kid, "Hey, pass me that hibiscus crayon." And I know you guys are with me, and I know everyone listening is with me too, because this happened after a show. I had a husband and wife come up to me after the show, and the wife said, "I want a picture with you in your hibiscus shirt." And she started to take her shawl off. And as a joke, I said, "Well, why don't I wear your shawl?" Her husband immediately said, "No, the shawl is salmon. That would clash with the hibiscus." So I know I'm not the only one out there learning. He was farther along that scale than I was.
I get in trouble every time I wear flounder.
Oh, man. And you got a big family, right?
Yeah. I got 8 brothers, 1 sister. I grew up in a family of 10 kids. And I tell you, that's all about adapting to survive. And I mean, even parents have to adapt. Our dad used to have fun with us. I mean, he learned how to have fun with us. He loved taking all of us to his store. We'd walk in the store, and he'd only say one thing: "Spread out. They can't watch all of us."
See, I was always the sacrificial lamb. My dad would say, "You take something, let them see you take it. We'll be running out with a bunch of other stuff."
We had enough that we didn't have to have a sacrificial lamb. We covered it pretty good. But when your dad has a sense of humor like that, you know, the store owners don't appreciate it too much.
Yeah, it's so funny. How did you have to share a room? I mean, how?
Well, at one time when there were only 7 of us, we lived in a small house. We had 1 bedroom for all us kids. We had 3 bunk beds in that bedroom, and the youngest just rotated, went from bed to bed. So when our parents would send us to bed at night, they did not expect immediate quiet. You know, you can imagine that. I mean, we'd be in our bed, it's dark, and someone would start talking. You talk back, pretty soon everyone's talking. And then as you're talking, someone might touch you. You go to touch it back, except it's dark, you get the wrong guy. Now you got everyone touching everyone. And then you'd be in your bed thinking, okay, someone touched me. I bet you there's someone out there in the dark right now doing the almost touch. And then you're gambling, you're just hitting out into the air, trying to, if anyone's out there trying to touch you. So, and then as the night would go on, I mean, you get creative, you come up with ideas, hey, I wonder if I can jump from the top of this bunk to the top of that bunk. And you try that and you make it. Now your other brothers, and then you try to get your youngest brother, "Sure, I think you can make it too." And he's got no shot. He takes and he hits hard. But the point being, there's a lot of commotion. And, our dad didn't handle like a lot of dads. He didn't yell out idle threats like, "You better stop, don't maybe come down or give you one more chance." He didn't do that. We'd be talking, touching, jumping, and all of a sudden the bedroom light would be on, and he was just there. And he'd be you're just shocked. I mean, we felt like, that light came on, all he would see was 7 heads pop up, up over the rail, just looking. Visualize this. Visualize a prairie dog looking for an eagle. That's exactly what we were. 7 prairie dogs just looking straight up, and there he is, just staring at us. And what he'd do is he'd make eye contact with each and every one of us. And when he made eye contact, you just look down. I remember looking down and thinking, please don't pick me to kill. Just one by one, and then we'd all be looking down. And then the next thing we know, our bedroom light is out. Except now we're all thinking, I'm pretty sure he's still in here. And I swear to God, when the sun came up, that's the position you were in, because you didn't move for the rest of the night. I mean, it was just intimidating. But when you got that many kids, you gotta figure out a way to discipline without yelling, because yelling will wear off. And my dad was a master of that. I mean, he was just a genius at discipline. I mean, it was just well done.
My dad was like that. He figured you stab one kid, the rest of them will fall right in line.
You know what? You say that in jest, but our dad used to tell us about an older brother that we didn't know about. He didn't behave too well, and then we're just like, we don't know what happened to this guy, but we don't want to disappear. Think about that. Our dad's telling us we had an older brother that didn't behave too well, and then he had to pay the price. And I sure hope you kids are good. And then
so that's
what are you going to do?
That happened. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
No, you're going to behave. You're not going to be acting up when you don't want to be like that older brother that you never even saw.
The last thing you want to hear your dad say is, "Come on, we're going fishing, just me and you."
But yeah, when you have kids, because I had two sisters, they do things to like annoy you, right?
Yeah.
They just like little.
We had, honestly, I'm the second oldest in the family, number 2. When we email each other, we just sign with the number. It's just all numbers. No, it's just number 2, number 7. You don't even use names. You just use numbers. When you make a roll call in school. Seriously, they would say Fred, and I wouldn't say anything, and then they said to me, my mom and dad, he's not when I do roll call, he just sits there, and my dad goes, just say number 2. Now don't do the jokes on that one, Mike. But and then she'd say 2, and I go here. I mean, we went by numbers, and what was your question? I forget.
I was saying about how brothers and sisters, they would just do stuff to annoy you.
Oh yeah, their whole life is to get you to snap and get you in trouble. I don't know how well the visual will work here, but I had one brother. I mean, he would just drive you nuts. This is what every time you looked at him, this is all he'd ever do. In fact, we just worried about him. We didn't think he was right, but he's done really well in life. He's actually made money. But growing up, this is all he would ever do. He would do like this. I don't know how this is coming across on camera, but every time you looked at him and you just wanted to kill him, they just anything they could do to get you to snap and get you in trouble. The almost touch. I mean, the touch. Like if you guys got brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have 2 brothers.
But like the touch thing, you run into that where just touching you, and you're thinking I can ignore that, but I'm telling you, after an hour, after 2 hours, 3 hours, it starts to get you, and just when you're ready to hit them, they go to the almost touch, and then the almost touch is worse than the touch because they're coming around, coming into your face, and you just want to kill them, and then eventually it's just like your arm is on its own and just whack, you smack them, and I remember one time with Derek, and he goes running off to Dad, and he's crying, and my dad said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I didn't do anything." And then my dad yells at me, "Fred, get in here. Why'd you hit him?" And I had, he almost touched me. You realize what a feeble excuse that is? You got no legs to stand on. Now my dad, he almost touched you. My dad's going to kill me. And standing behind my dad is now my brother doing this. And it's just like you want to kill him, but you can't. But the touch, the almost touch, and oh my God, it just.
My brother would get me every time. He would just talk me into doing the stupidest thing, and I would do it, and then he would squeal on me. And so it's like, and he was quicker than me, so he would run until I discovered that a shoe could fly faster than he could run. So I would just.
You guys will like this, and because a big family, you get together and the ideas come out, and then you do stuff that I don't think is, if you only had 1 or 2 brothers, I don't think you could do this kind of stuff. But we got together one time. You guys, when you were growing up, did you get Boys Life magazine?
Yeah. That was part of the Scouts, right?
The Boys Life magazine was an ad for a squirrel monkey for $15.99. You guys remember that?
Yeah, good deal.
Well, we thought this was the greatest thing in the world. We got together, we pooled our money, we ordered this squirrel monkey, and fast forward to my dad on the front porch. UPS truck pulls into the driveway. Driver gets out with the small box, walks up to my dad and says, "Sir, here's the monkey that you ordered." My dad just looked at this monkey, and my dad was really cool. He never yelled. He just looked at my mom and said, "Joanne, line them up." Lined us up, and I swear to God, he went right down the line, and each of us, he looked us right in the eye and goes, "Did you order the monkey?" And each of us lied. We all said no, because we knew if we said yes, we were going to die. And so we ended up with the monkey that we had to take care of, and we thought it was the greatest pet in the world. But my dad said that one of us was not going to eat because we had to feed the monkey, and he let us pick out which one was going to miss a meal for consecutive days.
So what happened to the monkey?
Well, we had it for a couple of years, and then it died.
I thought you were going to say I didn't care about the monkey because I got 5 minutes out of it.
But it was delicious.
Hey John, did you check your box to see if there was a monkey in it? Maybe that's what was.
Yeah, that's why I was afraid there'd be a tiger in that box instead of a Ouija board.
No, that was a great day, though, man. We were like the heroes of the neighborhood. I mean, how many kids could say they got a monkey? I mean, it was awesome.
And for $15.99,
we were at school. Morgan School was just a block and a half away from our house, and honest to God, this is an announcement made in the school. Was would one of the Klett boys come to the principal's office? Your mother called. She can't get the monkey out of her hair. So we had to send. I think Jaren's the one that got to go home and get the monkey out of my mom's hair. But I mean, come on, how many times have you heard an announcement like that in school?
When I was growing up, my next door neighbors they went to something and they won this little baby chick, which they thought was a chick, but it was actually a duck, and it grew up to be this big white duck that they had in their backyard. Right. This is like a suburban neighborhood, this big white duck. And they won it at some church thing. So it was like St. Peter or something they called it. So the duck would run around the yard. Nobody could catch it. They had like 5 little girls all running around trying to catch this duck. And that thing is pretty big, right? So my neighbor, who was a cop, said, "I got a German Shepherd. I can get that duck." So he would let Maggie out, the German Shepherd. He would chase that duck down and just grab it by the neck, but not bite it, and just hold it to the ground, right? Until they could come and get it. I mean, the dog was really a cool dog. So finally, after a while, they decided, like, we got to get rid of this duck, right? So the cop, who is a motorcycle cop in the Bronx, says, "I'll take it to work and throw it over the fence at the Bronx Zoo." So he goes, so he takes it, he puts it in his leather motorcycle jacket. He's coming down the Cross Bronx Expressway, and the cop next to him this guy next to him, he's riding his motorcycle. And all of a sudden he says, as he pulls up, the duck sticks his head out of the jacket and looks at the guy. And the guy almost hits him, almost knocks him off the motorcycle. So he gets to the Bronx Zoo and he climbs up the thing and drops the duck over. And then he says, he goes, "I kept thinking like the next day the zoo guy would come in and go, wait, there was 12 ducks in here yesterday. Now there's 13 full-grown ducks." But yeah, people get pets, man. They decide, like, what do I need this for?
Yeah, we didn't need a dog. We had Kyle for that kind of stuff. He'd grab the duck by the neck and hold it down. No, I talk about Kyle a lot in my show, but this honest goodness truth, he was just that character in the family. He was always doing wild stuff. And when you came out of our house, every Sunday we'd go to church. We'd pile into the station wagon and go to church. And one Sunday we'd come out of the house and you could see the Beloit water tower from our house when you come out that front door. And in great big letters on the side of the water tower is the name Kyle. It's been spray painted on there. And we just looked at him like, couldn't you have at least put it on the other side? That wasn't a popular name back then. There was only one Kyle in the city of Beloit. It was just like, man, you wanted to get busted.
Oh, I did something incredibly stupid like that. I am Jewish, but I went to Catholic school for 8 years. And I remember taking the pole that they used to open and close the windows.
Yeah.
And I poked my initials into the ceiling of the, the thing. Like they wouldn't figure out who it was. And the nuns there, I don't know if you remember nuns in the old days, but they were bigger than me. I mean, this one nun, she grabbed me and put me on the wall and just started beating me.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, not a smart thing.
You know what, Mike, you and Kyle would get along really well.
I'm sure.
You guys would be best friends.
So my neighbor told me once that the guy with the little girls, and they didn't tell me, I heard him telling my mother and father this story, that the one sister wanted to get the other one in trouble. So on her windowsill in crayon, she wrote, F.U. signed Laura, who is her other sister. And they knew that she didn't say,
Yeah.
And they go, look what Laura did. Like
Yeah, I don't know. We got time because I want to tell you this.
Yeah.
And this will give you an idea of a big family too. We had seen the movie Mary Poppins, and this is true. I mean, so much of what I talk about is true. But my dad's sitting at the kitchen table, and he's looking out the kitchen window, and he sees going by the window, holding an umbrella, my brother Jeff. And with your kid, it's not like he hit the ground hard. and my dad said if it had ended there, he could understand. But then I went by the window, Terrell went by the window, and then Kyle went by the window, and he didn't even have an umbrella. And my dad came outside, and he sees all of us laying on the ground, and he yells at me, Terrell, and Kyle. He goes, "Why did you three jump when you saw your brother Jeff fail?" To which I replied, "We didn't think he did it right." I mean, the kid logic, and then like as a parent, you got to just get mad at yourself sometimes when you just yell out, because my dad actually yelled at Kyle for jumping without an umbrella, like that's gonna make it safe.
What was his reasoning though? What was Kyle's reasoning?
Kyle, he was just crazy. Honest to God, he was just crazy. One day, we had a big 2-story house when we moved from one side of Beloit to the other. And one day, the neighbor lady called my parents and said, you might want to get Kyle. He was standing on top of the chimney, which went substantially above that second floor. And he was just standing there, just looking, surveying the whole neighborhood. And everybody knew it was, if something really crazy went on, it was a good chance Kyle was behind it. I came home one day with my mom. I don't remember where we had been, but we see the ambulance leaving the neighborhood. And my mom goes, "I bet Kyle's in that ambulance." And when we got there, sure enough, it was Kyle. He had fallen out of a tree trying to retrieve a kite. And it was just, he's added a lot of color to the family stories. Believe me.
We would have been best friends. Me.
Oh no, you two would you'd get along great.
So Fred, you're on that. Is it at Right Bar Comedy? Is that what they call it?
No, Dry Bar.
Right. What is it? Dry Bar.
Dry Bar. A bar that doesn't serve alcohol.
Okay. So you're on Dry Bar, and you have what? 6 million hits or something?
No, it's honest to God, you guys know how I am with technology. It's been, you've been very patient with me, and I was supposed to be on the show for 14 weeks in a row, and I couldn't figure it out. And then it got so bad that you even lined up a puppet to replace me today if I couldn't get on. So I'm not good with technology, but I'm overwhelmed with this. I got over 60 million views.
Wow.
6-0?
6-0.
Holy
wow. God.
60, yeah, I know. It's you know what? And Nancy's getting a kick out of this. I live in Milwaukee, and we're leaving a restaurant the other day, and as we're walking out, this family sitting at a table, and the guy goes, "Are you Fred Klett?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "We really enjoy your comedy." And I'm just about ready to ask him which show in Milwaukee he saw.
Yeah.
He goes, we watched your dry bar comedy special and we just loved it. Yeah. And then it just floors me, the exposure it's given me. And then we just went and saw the Brewers a couple of days ago, and some guy comes over and says, "Man, I love your dry bar comedy special, and I just wanted to let you know." So I've been, honest to goodness, I've been floored by the exposure.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's funny when you get recognized. I remember once I did Comic Strip Live and I did a bunch of airline jokes. And the next morning I was flying out and I got on the plane and the flight attendants all looked at me and went, "Not a word." I swear that's a true story.
You want to talk about feeling funny? Try being in line in the post office and your picture's up there and somebody recognizes you.
Well, if you look at a couple other pictures, you might see Kyle right up there with you. No, it really has been an amazing thing, and it's opening up some new markets. We're doing a show in Beloit. I'm actually going to do a stand-up show. My son Gus has done some stand-up. He's going to open, and then I'm going to go on, and we've sold this thing out. So it's this exposure thing. It's really something, man. It's pretty cool.
That is amazing.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
How big a venue is it? 30 seats.
No,
it's a small theater. It's 30 seats. It's off Broadway. It's Des Moines.
It is small. It's 75. No, it's 320.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's we've also had multiple feelers for other shows, and then we're talking to a guy from Nashville about management, and he's kind of showing us what he can do for us. So we'll see how it goes, but it's all from this dry bar. It's all the exposure from dry bar.
That's great, man.
It's from that. Yeah.
So I do a thing every week. I talk about stupid criminals. They fascinate me. So I have like two little stupid criminal stories I want to tell you. This guy posed as a priest, and he would walk into this grocery store every day dressed in black with a cross hanging around his neck and a piece of white cardboard. And then he started ordering groceries. And he said, "Just sign him to St. Rocco Church."
St. Rocco's.
And this went on for about 3 months until they were going through it and found out that most of his purchases were energy drinks, magazines, and cigarettes. So the next time he came in, they waited and they arrested him. And so with that same theme, these two Polish guys went to Greece, and they told these nuns that they were going to beautify their garden. So they said, "Oh, that would be wonderful." And they worked out there for 3 years and grew the biggest marijuana growing plant in all of Greece. And the nun said, "We just thought they were beautiful smelling plants." And somebody in the town reported them, and they're all now in jail.
Come on, those nuns were dealing weed.
They knew.
Yeah.
So we haven't heard anything from Eunice this week.
Well, she put in the special report.
I know.
Yeah.
Joe has a special friend, Eunice, that we think could be in his imagination.
I do.
She's as real as you are, John.
Thank you.
That still doesn't convince me. So, hey, did you guys? Did you hear about? I don't know if this is on a local news. It was on the news here in California. These people were they were doing gardening or something in the backyard, and their dog and the cat started barking. It was a bear. Did this make the national news? This teenage girl.
The girl that.
Yeah. She's like, the bear is attacking her dog. She runs up to the bear and pushes it off the fence.
Yeah, it was on the like tightrope on the top of the fence walking, and she ran up. This bear is swatting at the dogs, and she just ran up to it without any hesitation and pushed it off. And this was a pretty substantial sized bear. And I looked at Nancy and I said, if those were my dogs, I think they'd be dead. That girl's got guts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love my dog, but he would have been a snack.
Yeah.
That's
No, this is you watch it, and you cannot believe that she did that.
It was like that, not
We
even
had a-
thinking.
we had a story last week about these guys were fishing in Australia, and a great white shark jumped in the boat, grabbed the kid, and the father jumped in the water and beat the shark up and grabbed his kid back. Mike said, hey, it's only a kid, let him go.
Yeah, you know what? This
To
is
make another one.
But these are real life stories. This isn't a movie where you got a script and you can do these heroic things. This is real life, man. That's impressive. That really is.
Yeah, I just think that sometimes you just, you don't think.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
I think
it's just
adrenaline just takes over. Like with the girl, obviously she wasn't thinking, hey, I'm going to go fight this bear. The adrenaline took over, but it was just funny. She just pushed it off the wall. It's just,
How old was the little girl?
She was like the teenage, like 15 or 16.
Yeah, I think she was around 17. But
17.
She ran into this thing full speed ahead without any hesitation, and she was going to protect those dogs. And I think her parents talked to her afterwards and said, look, we love the dogs too.
Yeah.
But
I heard the Jets drafted her right after.
yeah.
The Jets drafted her right after that.
See, you know what? And that would be a good draft choice. The Jets could use someone like that.
Better than
They can use
Darnold.
anybody. They can use anybody. Well, what are we going to end this with? We need a big laugh to go out
Should I-
with.
Well, I was going to do one of my things for your girlfriend, but
Oh, yeah.
Do that.
So during the COVID, Mike couldn't perform stand-up, so he got a job writing greeting cards for Hallmark.
well, actually, this isn't one
And
of my
poems,
I know I'm going to buy them.
and
There you
poems and songs. He's our
songs.
poet laureate.
And this is a song, but it's not. I can't sing, so bear with me. I see trees of green and red roses too. There'll be plenty of those at the hospital for you. And I say to myself, what a wonderful world. I hear babies cry. Your screams woke them up. They'll sleep again, but you won't wake up. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, the colors of the rainbow include black and blue. Those are the colors that I'm turning you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Nice.
Hey, that's beautiful. But let me just add this. In my family, you would be gifted. You would be musically gifted. You carried that tune really well.
Mike is also an inventor of words. His new word that he came up with a couple of weeks ago, he goes, when you just feel stabby?
No, Mike, I don't. What's that like?
It's like a cabaret. Instead of a cabaret, it's a stabberay. Life is a stabberay, my friend. Come to the stabberay. No, it's
you meet certain individuals and you know they would do well in prison.
I have a dog. He's a 12-year-old lab. Name is Rufus T. Firefly Silkie. He's like the best dog in the world. It's named after Groucho Marx. But he's got allergies, so he's on this prescription food. It is $100 a bag, 25 pounds. So now...
So you need to find a better dealer.
I can get a fee for that.
But what is in this stuff that you have to have a prescription from the vet to be able to buy it?
That's
So I did
great.
some research. I did some research, and basically it comes up with there's no FDA laws, there's no government laws, there's no laws. It's just something that the vets and the food manufacturers came up with. So they can charge you like double the amount of money for those.
So there's nothing in it that's like controlled substance or anything.
There's no controlled substances. There's nothing. I mean, it's a special formula for him because he's got allergies.
Wait a minute. Mike told me there was opiates in that. I've been eating that for 3 days.
I was going to
That's crazy.
I think we should go up on that.
Yeah.
That's
we should bring
insane.
this. We should bring this up with our special guest who's coming up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
That's right.
He puts has his own dog food line.
Guess who we have? Guess who we have coming up? We have the original Robin from Batman and Robin,
Burt Ward.
Burt Ward.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's gonna love Walton's trivia.
He called in and said, "Save those trivia questions for me."
Yeah.
Dowsing. Boom.
Only trivia, that man.
Yeah.
So wait, Joe, your dog is $100 a bag food,
Right.
and you're what? You told me once you have to get a prescriptions every month too, right?
Yeah. Well, you have to get a prescription like you would get regular medication.
And how much is that?
No, the prescription is like, I could just call up the vet. They'll write the prescription because
How
they're
much?
probably getting a kickback on the
The
food.
prescription.
You think?
How much is the total a month?
Well, it's $100 a month in dog food.
So the
And what about the
prescription for
prescription?
dog food?
Oh, you mean the medication?
Yeah.
He's on all different medications. It's pretty expensive.
How much?
It's probably an additional $250, $300.
That dog's got to get a job.
Oh my god. Joe, I didn't mean to make light of your dog's condition. The food doesn't get me high, but I will say this: I don't have fleas anymore.
Yeah, your itch and your mange is kind of gone.
Exactly.
Get a nice healthy stove.
That is the worst thing in the world, right? If you bring your dog in and the vet goes, yeah, mange. It's like there's nothing sounding worse than that. Mange. It's like,
Dog's got
okay,
crunch.
He's a great dog. He's 12 years old, and he's like he's the best. But when he was a puppy, we brought him in, to the vet, and she's saying, "Oh, well, you have to give him heartworm stuff and all this kind of thing." She goes, "Let me show you how to give him a tablet." So she takes the thing out, she puts it like an inch away from his mouth, and he just sucks it up. And I go, "I think I can handle that."
Yeah,
He's just like.
Yeah,
What?
well, I have a dog that forget about trying to give him pills. I have a dog that I'm telling you, we're going to be on this all afternoon. So I have these pills, right? And the vet goes, "Well, use a little peanut butter." So peanut butter worked for like 3 weeks. Put the pill in the peanut butter. Oh, having peanut butter. Then all of a sudden, sees the peanut butter, turns and runs the other way. So then he goes, "Try liverwurst." Liverwurst worked 4 days. That was it. Then he goes, "Well, they sell these things called pill pockets. You buy them at the vets. You put the pill in it, and it tastes like, I don't know, I didn't taste one, but it's supposed to be like a beef jerky." That lasted a day and a half. Now I'm back to the peanut butter when she feels like eating it.
John, you know what the trick is with my dog? I swear, just pretend you're eating it. Just stand there and like you're popping up your in yourself.
Yeah, but you would like this because I
got to
get. You would like this because I got to give my dog codeine pills, so you probably enjoy them.
Well, I'd split it with him at least,
So I do think we should get out of here. Otherwise, Craig will have to do editing, and we don't like to give him any more work than he has to.
Oh, please, don't worry about me.
So we got incredible guests coming up, right?
Right.
Tell us about
Yeah,
it.
we have. Well, you're a big announcement from last week. We have Graham Nash coming, right?
Yeah.
We have the original Robin from the 1966 Batman. Burt Ward is going to be here.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that. Who else do we have coming?
Wendy Liebman is coming in a couple weeks.
She is hilarious.
I love Wendy.
She's great.
Love Wendy.
God.
And we got Billy Gardell's going to be coming up.
Mike and Parts off the
and-
show.
And it's going to be a while because he's under a different contract, but sometime in October we got
Oh,
Clint Howard's coming up.
Wow.
Nice.
How are you guys lining up all these guests? Those are some really good guests. You guys are doing great.
We got friends. We send Mike over. He's doing a show or what?
Might be a good idea.
The trick is, Fred, you don't ask them. You just say, hey, I'll see you next week on the show. And they're like, what do you mean? I said, no. I'll see you next week on the show.
When we had Michael Carbonaro on in the middle of the interview.
I like it.
When we had Michael Carbonaro on in the middle of the interview, he picks up the phone and he goes, yeah, Ma, release their family. He shut up. Well, we do have some fun here. I'm so glad you finally made it, Fred.
Yeah.
You had a good time.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, you guys are great. You're going to hit some huge numbers.
Yeah, we're going to add some numbers because we're going to piggyback right onto your dry bar. So, hey, we're here every Friday. We go live at noon, and you can catch us on our website, www.thebbradio.com.
And you can catch us on YouTube, watch us, like us, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come and visit. I mean, it's getting to that. So,
And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Yes, on Twitter, we're the BBB Radio Podcast. And also, don't forget, you can take us in your car. We are now an audio podcast. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Google Podcasts. You can find us everywhere.
I just can't find those places. I got to go to the website because on the website we have all the podcasts listed also. So, hey, Fred, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you bet.
We had fun. Say hello to Nancy. Say hello to the guys.
Yeah, we'll do.
And love you guys all. We'll see you next week.
all right.
All right.
Peace.
All right.
Later.
Tune in next week to more Bitchin' Baby Boomers.